doing this. Hi, my name is Roy
Recording in
Canterbury.
progress.
Yeah, we're recording. My name is Roy Canterbury, and I'm going to be host today on Archery Talk 101. And we have Katerina on the line. I'm going to let her introduce herself and tell the audience a little something about her. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Roy. Thanks for inviting me. So I'm Katerina. I'm longbow archer from Czech Republic, living already in Austria because Austria is the biggest country for 3D archery, I think. We got about 300 courses already here. I'm working in archery and I'm shooting tournaments as well. So it's almost all my life. As you can see
Lots of bows behind you there.
of me. Yes, my babies.
So
I moved to Austria 5 years ago, and I'm working in archery 5 years.
That's good. What got you started in archery?
I started, it was like on the camp under the mountains in Germany on a trip, and we was choosing between golf and archery, and we went for archery because I was working in golf company before, and I wanted to show it to my friend, and he wanted to show me archery, and it was interesting for me because the first shoot, it kind of quiet to me, like you shoot, and in the moment, like you shoot with a gun, and it was the same. I was totally surprised, like, wow, this is quiet, but in my head it's quiet as well, and it makes me interesting. Like it was interesting. I want to try again, and I fell in love after about 2 years. It was slowly walk to this love.
Yeah, I've seen people when they, we take some of the new people, because I owned a shop for a while, and they'd come in with somebody and I'd say, hey, you want to shoot? And they say, nah. And I said, well, just try one. And then the first shot goes off and it's like, whoa, this is fun. Can I do it again? Well, of course you can do it again.
Yes, it's the same story. Because I was shooting with customers before in Czech Republic with guns, like just for fun. And what I can remember what was the quiet in my head. And it was the same feeling, same moment, same stuff, and something very important what we need for our lives, I think. This big quiet, what coming if you are concentrate. This is what I like.
Yeah, that's one thing about archery is you have to concentrate on what you're doing. It's just not something that you can just do and then all of a sudden be shooting good if you're not really, thinking about what you're doing. If you're not concentrating and thinking about what you're doing, it doesn't seem to work very well.
Yeah, but I'm thinking my biggest plus is I'm not thinking. I was all my life, I was good in do nothing and thinking about nothing. And first in archery, I know it's good for something. It's really good. You can do this. So I was a problem child because I was thinking about nothing. I was always watching in nothing, and I didn't know what it is good. But now I know it's good to be a good archer, like to have your head or your mind. There is nothing in, only the moment, only this one point, and this is what making me exciting.
Yeah, that's kind of the challenge is getting out there and all of a sudden you're shooting at a tournament or whatever, and you got all this noise behind you, and you're hearing people talk, and then while you're doing all that, you're not concentrated, you're not thinking about what you're doing. And that's what's nice about this is, you can go through and just think about what the moment, that's the fun part, is you're just in the moment. What's in the past is past, and the future hasn't come yet. It's like it's now, and
it's now,
just
yes.
think about now. Yeah,
This
It's
is
the
the
now.
point. It's you have to be now, and it's learning all the people I'm meeting every day. It's so beautiful to watch it because coming people from the city, we are about 15 minutes from the city on the hill, almost 1,000 meters. And this is so beautiful because people coming stressed, like not by themselves. And after a while, they are here. They are here and they are present, and they can do nice things for themselves and go out shoot. And this is really beautiful to do this for them. Just show them the other something new for them. I'm teaching every day a lot of people, like groups, and it's for me it's really exciting. Every group I can explain, I can introduce archery, and in the eyes, like, wow, I can do this. Oh, I hit, and it's my everyday work. So it's really nice. It's very beautiful, and I'm really I'm really happy that I can do that.
Yeah, it's really nice when you have somebody that's shooting that doesn't really know what they're doing, and all of a sudden they start hitting stuff. And that's the cool part of teaching new archers. And I like teaching the new archers just because they just, a lot of them have so many struggles. You can get over some of those struggles. And I know here last weekend, here in Nebraska, here in the United States, we have they call the Women in the Outdoors. And a friend of mine actually runs it for the Nebraska Game of Arts. And they have all kinds of events for ladies in the outdoors. They have the archery, of course. I go help them with that. They shoot rifles, the 22s. They shoot shotguns. They go kayaking. There's a whole bunch of things that they do just to get the ladies in the outdoor, and it's just ladies in the event. And this year we had 4 or 5 in a group, and we had like 3 groups come through. And some are archers that have been doing it for a little while, that are rusty, and we help them. And others, this is their first time picking up a bow, and it's just like you just said, it's so exciting when somebody finally gets it and start hitting. Don't have to be a long ways away. They could be 10, 15 feet away, but they're hitting. And
Yeah.
that is so much fun when you can help somebody out doing that.
Yes, but for me, it's now I have to choose between these good feelings and tournament feelings, because that was the biggest feelings in my life. Like if the big quiet coming, if you are in your own bubble and in the flow, and I have to choose between these two stuff, because if I'm working, I cannot shoot tournaments. So I love it, but I miss a little bit to shoot these tournaments. It's very, very, very nice and interesting also to be all day concentrate and going with the good archers and shoot this day. So I can say my problem is go to tournament or teach people. I got a really nice problem and always good people. Yeah, it's really beautiful. Archery changed my life, and I'm thankful that I met this. That I choose to go to archery and not golf again.
So what tournaments have you been in?
Yeah, I'm in break this year because of some health stuff, but that was for a little tournament here in Austria. The last in winter, it was in the hall, like target shooting by about archery. I hope, I think, and that was the last one. And before it was about, I don't know if you know it was archery and EFR. It is the different distance. One is shooting till 30 meters and the other one till 54 if you go in 3D. And I'm shooting mostly the EFR. So I was on some tournaments of this, like nation, also Austrian championship, Czech championships, some European, and one I was in America, and I won the world championships in America, in USA.
Oh, that was cool. What year was that? This last year? Or?
No, last year, no, because I was working, like I told you, that was 2009 to 2019. Last year it was in already the next one was last month in Finland. And last year we had European championships in, it was Frankreich. Yes, but I'm going next year again. So I made a break because of the work, but I'm training for the next year. I can't wait to go again.
Well, that's nice to be able to go back and do it again, and you've been out of it a little bit, and go back with a rejuvenated enthusiasm for it, and you'll do good.
And meet the people, there are a lot of interesting people I met, and they are always in my memories, and I miss them. I want to meet them again. Because, for example, if I went for the operation, I was thinking about these days with these girls with the big archers, and it was super to me to stay strong for the operation. So it's really nice, and I'm missing the people.
Yeah, that's kind of the common theme I'm hearing from all archers from all over the world. That it's just a big group of friends that are getting together. It might be from different countries, and may have a little bit of a language barrier, but there's ways to work around it. And
yeah,
there's way for us archers to communicate one way or another.
And the people who going there in human, they are always doing something in the free time. Like it's amazing how they how they manage to shoot, and the technique, and how strong can they stay concentrated. And this is amazing for me just to watch it and be part of this. I miss it really a lot.
So what's been your most memorable event you've been at?
Most what? I didn't understand.
Memorable? One you remember the most?
That was the first European championship. Like, first was the one tournament in Germany. It was triathlon. That was my biggest. It was fun tournament. But every day at a bow, and I didn't know how, but I was every evening. You met people. They are in the camp, and always together, 5 days together, lot of friends. And I was newly like shooting about some days or weeks maybe. I just stand me on the practice range in the evening before the last day of the tournament. I was the only one woman there, because women say it's too difficult to shoot 3 different bows. So I didn't know what to do. They only given me these bows. I didn't know, and it was so amazing, because I challenged myself, like, you have to hit this point, and you don't gonna go home in the evening till you don't hit it. So I was training lot. I didn't know it's training, but I was shooting on the practice range long time till it was dark. But next day, after so much training on the target, I went to the bubble and on the tournament, and that was the first time I met this thing, this big. It was so great for me. I didn't hear nothing. I was like just me in the moment, and the shoots, and the hits, and the target, and the bow. And I don't know what happened this day. It was amazing. It was long, all from the first shoot to the last one. I was in the bubble, and this is what I want to have, and have again. And after this experience, I choose for myself to try European championship or something more. So I went for qualification to my home country, to Czech Republic. And after it, I started on European Championships. Like, I'm going without the shoes, you know. I'm going to celebrate the day. I want to be in the contact with the nature. And so I went first day. I didn't know there was 70 other women with longbow. And after the first day, I went home in the car to the hotel, and I was thinking like, oh, I can be like 35 or 40. And I was on the first place. That was I just was feeling before I have to do that, and in the moment I was first, and it was great. That was the biggest feeling I had. So because I was feeling I have to do that, and after I see, yes, that was right.
Yeah, that sounds like something you won't soon forget.
Yeah, it's after that it come the World Championships, but this was the biggest moment, I think. Yeah, but the big moments coming in the training also. So this feeling, this flow, good shoot, you know, it's on the tournament. It's only longer, this feeling. In the training, I can have this flow or this quiet in my head. It's beautiful, but it's always only moment. In tournament, it's coming for many hours, so I just enjoy it.
So what's kind of your when you get ready to go to one of these events, what's your training regimen like?
What's my training?
Yeah.
I try just because on the tournament I'm really a lot of nervous. I have to go puke and everything. I'm stressed, so I just try that something stay in my body, like the routine. So I make all steps of the shoot like 10 seconds on the practice range. I've tried to find my rhythm, so I'm counting in my head just to go to the balance and to the nice rhythms for me. What's making me feeling good and nice, and in these rhythms, then I'm counting, and I do longer as I need it, because I said to my people what I'm train that not only just new people, I'm training with other archers as well. And there's always many times they choose 4 seconds. I'm making like 10 seconds because I know I'm a little stressed and so I need to be sure it stay in myself, and I can go back to this what I need. So every step of the shoot I holding 10 seconds. And the next point of the training is I'm doing harder to me, you know, more harder than it have to be. So if I shooting longer distances, I'm shooting from one leg, or I'm sitting on the shoot. So it has to be fun. It has to be hard work, because the way to this is it making me. I need to have fun, and I need to feel I work. And the next step is I'm writing what I do in the training. So I'm writing my trainings books, and every day I try every day, but mostly is it twice a week. I'm writing what I did for for the competition, and
Sounds like
shooting a lot.
sounds like quite a routine that you go through.
Mhm.
And the key is to do the same thing every time, right?
Yes, like to stay. And after it, you and we shooting with closed eyes on the target, that you see your mistake. You know, you can see it from you can see the movie after in the second if you make mistake, if you didn't hit. So I see the mistake, and there is a lot of training, a lot of hours for shooting. I was thinking it's about nothing because I was training, and after this this year when I cannot train over about half year I didn't shoot. I see so first how much I was training for this, how that I'm good. So I was thinking it's normal, but it's not normal. Now I'm starting to train again like last month, and I'm really tired. So today I'm after day off, after break, but I'm really tired. This is a lot of training and discipline and lot of hours.
Yeah, when you're getting ready for an event, that sure takes a lot of extra time, extra practice, and that can be fun. You know, those that like the tournaments scene can really can see how the training is evolving. And you mentioned shooting with your eyes closed, and I've used that several times, you know, in helping
Or from
people.
the ball, or shooting from the ball, you know, on your
Yeah.
knees. It's fun. It has to be fun. So I always trying to make a game like I've started to train. So I close the warm water in my apartment, in my flat. I thought I go into the gym, you know, to take a hot shower. So it's always like game for me. I just only try to have fun in everything I do. So it's I have fun always.
Yeah,
But
you
I'm
got it.
hard to myself.
Yeah, you got to have fun, and that's what's some of the targets they have out. When I had my store, they got tic-tac-toe targets that you can play
Yeah,
games with. They
they
have
do that. Yeah.
darts and stuff like dart boards on paper, and they have decks of cards on them, all kinds of stuff. And you know, it's nice, you know, like playing the tic-tac-toe. You got your 5 arrows, and if you want a spot, you got to get closer to the center, which means, you know, if you don't, then you just wasted your one shot. And you know, those are fun. And I know the one range we went to once in a while, they'd take a vacuum that had a exhaust port on the top, and they put a ping pong ball on it. And of course, that don't help for your technique either. But this ball is moving up and down, and you're trying to get it timed where you can shoot it and hit the ball. And you know, that's because it does not a consistent up and down. It just kind of moves up and down at a random time. And you know, those were kind of fun to shoot at.
Yeah, this is on the start here in Austria. I was alone because I didn't know anybody here, only two people. And now after these 5 years, we got good group of friends, and this is a lot of fun if we met us for training. And it doesn't matter if it's in gym or if it's in the archery club or clubs what we're visiting. It's really nice, and this is the important point of the training, this fun on these games. This I see on with the customers in the company where I'm working. Like if I show them a game for wow, this is really important point of the training, that it's game and it's fun. And tic-tac-toe, yeah. Or
Yeah.
that, yes, this is really good. We like it.
Yeah, that's it. You get those games out, and those a lot of fun to do. And I know when you go with you know, a small group, you know, you and another friend that go out all the time, and you know, the game isn't who can get first in the tournament. The game is who can beat the other one, especially if you're both fairly evenly matched. You know, one week you get it, the next week he gets it, you know, the other person gets it. And that's kind of the fun, where you're just going out there having fun. You know, you
Yes.
don't care about getting a trophy or not, and you just go have fun and take your kids out and have fun with them. And
Oh yes, this is true, and it's a it's really beautiful country, Austria, for live archery, because there are so many clubs, uh, and so many people they are living for this. And I was moving many times till I found my point here. It's normal if you start in new country, but through this on my way, I met a lot of clubs, and there are so many people. They are so working with the children, and this is so nice. If people from other countries writing me and asking me, because I'm working with a bow maker as well. He's from Czech Republic, so uh, I'm talking with a lot of people also from America, but also from a lot of countries, and they're asking how it is working here. And this community, what I found here in Austria, is really very beautiful, and it's like, wow, it's really like a new family for me.
Yeah,
Archery.
that's always fun. Is we're willing to help each other out and just improve the sport. The sport's been around for I think it's 64,000 years. They found evidence of archery back that long ago, and it's still going strong, and we like to keep it going.
Yeah, in my company, we going shooting, and with my colleagues or colleagues who don't work anymore in the company, but I like it really, really very lot. It's nice.
So what's been your most challenging, whether it be an event or group, or what's the most challenging thing you've had in archery?
Well,
What's
for
your
me,
biggest struggles?
it's every tournament, every day. I think it's I'm like blonde woman. I was alone in this country, only to move to this country because of archery. That was my challenge. Like, now I'm living my dream, and I have fun, but just to stay on the way. Like, that was my challenge. So that was a strong start in the country with any friends, and that was my challenge. And after I was so focused on this archery, and the one helped me to the other. So thanks this, I get the new life in this. But that was my challenge, just to do with this feeling in my head, just stay on the way. This was my challenge. For me, it's really strange every tournament because I'm I'm really nervous. So I have some rituals that I have to go through. Some of them I cannot say. Uh, and for example, in America, one day I was so. It's not about the challenge was after I knew I won the world championship. I had to miss, and it was challenge also. just to stay with the moment and just learn from this moment, because yeah, it's 4 years ago, so I have to go back in my memories. Maybe the biggest challenge was after this coming back to stay good and stay up for the last champions, or for the last tournaments of this set from this year. Just because in the moment you are world champion, it change a little bit. People always talking to, oh, it's like you have to, and this to in myself, just to quit from this, you have to I wanna again. That was the challenge. That was big challenge, I think, because this in your head you have to win because you are a champion. This was maybe a little bit strange,
Yeah,
but
I can see how that would be a challenge, winning worlds, and then you coming back, and now then expects you to do it again, and that would put a little extra stress on you, wouldn't it?
Yeah, the stress what I made to myself. Yes, expecting for myself, because a lot of people talking from this moment to you, like it's so easy for you, but it's always the same. It's not so easy. You have to always stay focused and everything. But it was the game in myself, and I love to game. So I did know I will do it, and I stay in love. I stay in love with archery, and for me, it's every shoot if it's good shoot, I don't know. It's like that's why I'm going. I'm not going. It's always the other point of archery, just to be outside and have a nice day and be a good person on this day to yourself and to the other. Is the point of what make me happy. This is this day.
Yeah, that is always a good part of archery is, when it's outdoors and you can be outside when it's a nice day, and that's always nice to be outside and enjoy it, and being with friends and shooting your bow, and it's just so much fun doing that, isn't it?
Yes, I'm going back in my memories just about hard days on tournaments. Like, for example, in the day like I moved from Germany to Austria, I was so tired, and it was one tournament. So I went to them, and I was so tired from this moving. They have to take me like this and help me to go because I was so tired, so tired. And in the break between this round and the final, I was slept on the in the grass, in the garden. That was crazy. For example, that was my challenge. Just stay on, yeah. And I was working always in 2 jobs or something like this, that I can go to this tournament or to this other. So I was always really tired. So that was my challenge. It was a lot of I know that we was like, I was training till my bow is falling down. So to absolutely finito. But it's, I don't know, it's fun. It's a lot of, it's good game, I think. I like the game, I like to play, and it's good game. It make fun.
So how did you do in that tournament where you just moved and you're taking naps between times to shoot? And how'd you do in that tournament?
Yeah, I won.
You won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's helping because I think it was a good like I learned a lot of, because I was so tired always from working, because after it I make a school for mental training, and I saw a lot of stuff what I'm doing. It's actually the it's actually mental training. So if I'm going sleep between this shooting and finals, this is method how to stay focused on yourself, or by yourself, or this, or if once I fell down, like it was a stone there, so I fell down, and this is points what I'm using in the mental training for the archers. This is what helping your body, and I don't know how is it in English, but there are a lot of points what we learn in the school what are important, and I learned it in the life and in the school. After I just saw, oh, this is using with this name, people using that many years. So it was for me interesting. It was really learning by doing, and it showed me that I can go back to the flow. I can be concentrate. Think this, like I was always tired. I need to take care to stay.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot of from the life, and after in the school I just saw, oh, this is this and this is this, and it was really interesting for me. Yes. Now I try just found the right words, but it's it's German language. English you can forget it. But I just try to find these words in German and give it to the other people, because it helped me a lot. So, and I got many techniques how you can get it, but I just didn't know I do that before the school. It's really interesting.
Oh. I hit the wrong button here. I hit the pause on the recording. I'm like, Yeah. It kind of mess up sometimes, but it didn't stop it. It just paused it. Yeah.
There are
So
many moments what I try just learn from them and give it to the others.
yeah, that's when it's nice that if you speak multiple languages, especially over there, you kind of need to. Over here in the United States, a lot of us, we speak one language, and I speak English, and there's a few words I can understand in a few different languages, but you know what? I use Google Translate when I don't understand.
Yes,
Yeah, it's one way I've done that. I've communicated to somebody in their language, because they type it in whatever language happen to be, and I put it in Translate, and he goes, oh, okay, that's what it is, and then I'll put my answer in and translate it back. And that's the nice thing now, is we can communicate, you use it on your phone or wherever, and that makes it nice. So I can do that. And because
that
over
was
here we
really
don't learn
important.
multiple languages like you guys do.
For me, it was really interesting because I learned archery in German with German language. And after I went for the qualification for Czech Republic, because I was shooting for Czech Republic. But I went to the tournament and I didn't know Czech, the names of this stuff. Like I did know only 4 words like bow, string, quiver, and arrow. And they was watching what the hell, who is she? She's it was my country, but I didn't know the word. So it was it's not so often that you cannot talk about stuff you love in your language. That was really and it's still today. If coming people to shoot for my country, it's for me difficult to talk about it in my language because I'm living it in other language. So it's interesting as well.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting. You learn it in a different language than your native one, and now you've got to translate it. How do you translate it and get it across? And
that was interesting experience for me. So yes, but now
yeah.
I'm shooting for Austria, so it's easier.
Yeah, problem solved, right?
It's really beautiful place where I live because it's close to my country, and I'm also trainer for Czech language here. So all places where I was living till now, I was always just from other country, But here I'm neighborhood. Like people want to learn my languages, so it's a beautiful place. But Czech Republic made lot of last week it was World Archery Championships like targets, and one of Czech archers won World Championship, and she's with Olympic, and she going to the Olympic Games. So last week it was really well for Czech Republic.
Yeah, sounds like it.
It's a small country. We got only six ranges in our country, and here
Only
in Austria
6.
it's 6. In here the same big country, the same stuff, so same big. So it's 300. So
Oh, wow.
it's crazy. It's really unbelievable how it works here in Austria.
Yeah, two countries about the same size. One has 6 ranges, and the other has 300.
Yeah.
That's a big difference when, in the sport of archery, when you have 6 opposed to 300.
Yeah, actually, I moved from Germany. I have to travel 1 hour always for shooting, and it was too much for me. So I made the first shoot with flow I made in Austria with one trainer in mountains, and I moved to this place. So in the next village from this place, but I didn't know it's so big, so good, so strong. But it's really good. It's perfect country for archery.
Yeah, it sounds like it. That's when you have that many places to go shoot, the
Yeah,
level of archers has got to be really good because that many people doing it, there's
yeah.
somebody you can learn from every day.
And like in the times like in the last 3 years when everything was closed, it was really big boom in archery. So many people started because it was almost the only stuff you can do. Like what was open for activities, because inside it was everything closed. So they came many new archers, people, families who make it, and I'm watching it every day in the work. And if I see the families, we give to every child who's coming and who is through the range, he's got a medal from us. So I just sometimes say, oh, that's her first medal in her life. And
Yeah.
it's so beautiful. And kids are really, if you go to the mountains with kids, sometimes you have to take it on your back and they are tired after 2 kilometers. But if you're going to the parkour with them to the range, this is amazing how they're interesting, and they're going from one target to the next one, and they just can rate what will be the next one, and asking, and they want to shoot from all distances, and it make the people really healthy and happy, healthier and happier. It's
Yeah.
really nice.
When you take the kids and they want to just keep going and going and going,
Yes,
and when they're not doing archery, it's like, I'm tired, carry me,
but I'm so proud. I'm working in so big company, and after I'm talking with people because of the boss from New York or something, and they just say, "Oh, Katerina, have a look on our shops, on our clubs, on our." You are like this. In USA, it's more bigger. Everything they say. I saw a lot of people, a lot of pictures or videos from your country. I was shooting there in the what is it? Yankton, in Yankton, just
Oh, okay.
in Yankton. But there was not like traditional bow, like longbow. It was only one longbow in the store, and a lot. The rest it was compound.
Yeah. You get certain areas and are real strong in compounds and not much in the longbows. And I know when I had my store, I mostly carried compounds because that's what everybody was looking for. But I did sell quite a few of the recurves and longbows because I catered to a group that's all what they shot. So it's just each area is kind of a little bit different and depending on what you want to cater to. And you know, I cater to archers. If you had a
Yeah.
stick with a string on it, flinging another stick, you're an archer.
Yeah, so
That's my definition of an archer is you have a stick with a string and you're flinging another stick. That's archery.
yeah,
It could
it's
be the
true.
recurve, the compounds, long bows, crossbows, homemade bows, anything. That's archery.
That's actually, yes. It was only so funny because I was so proud of the big shop where I'm working, and then came the message from New York, and just with the top, I don't know, about 50 pictures and videos like this is our store. This is, and I would like to go to New York and see it how it works in your country one day, maybe in 2 years or something like this.
Yeah, that'd be great to when you do come here, talk to you again and how you're going along with it and what your thoughts are on it. Yeah, that'd be really cool to um to kind of basically follow you around and say, hey, this is what's different, and the association is a bit different, sometimes a different way they're scoring them and all kinds of different things. And that's what's nice about archery is whatever you want to do is good, and
Yeah,
it's
last year
fun.
I visited Iceland. So this is the halfway to USA, and I visited traditional archers like longbow archers. That's Vikings in Iceland. And I visited the Olympic and the barebow archers in the Centrum in Reykjavik. So I had a talk with both of them, and it's actually it's always the same. Like only in Iceland they got no ranges because there's so much windy that you cannot shoot outside. It's always only 1 day competition or like just for fun. What I visited, it was a Viking festival, and we was shooting in the stick bows, like really old traditional, and or they are shooting on the targets in the hall. But it's living there also, so it's really nice, like to travel and meet people and other countries and clubs and everything.
Yeah, sometimes here in Nebraska we have some pretty high winds, and it's no fun trying to shoot in those high winds. It just makes it really difficult. And that's what's nice about normally early in the morning, it's fairly calm. So if you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
go out to tournament, go early. Don't go in the afternoon because sometimes it gets windy and hot. In the summertime, it can get really hot and humid, and not a lot of fun, but it's still fun.
They in Austria where I started, where I had the first shoot it was in the mountains, and there is about 3 meters snow in the winter. And in Italy there are some clubs that are open only in summer because in the winter is a ski, so there are a lot of snow, and it's really nice to traveling with archery and just visiting the nice places in mountains. I like it a lot.
Yeah, when you have a lot of snow on the ground, it makes it real tough shooting your bow, unless you're on skis or
One,
snowshoes.
if you miss your arrow. So with a wooden arrow, it's not so easy to miss it. We made 100 challenge. That means 100 targets in 1 day in winter, like 15 kilometers to bow and 100 targets. That was the challenge in my company. So in the winter, some people went really, really sick after this challenge because sometimes it was not nice day, lot of bad weather, but it's crazy. It's it's yeah, it's good. We're shooting by all weather. It doesn't matter. On the championships in Germany 5 years ago, it was in June and it was in the mountains. As it's mostly in Europe, it's in mountains. The big championships. If it's here, because in the mountains you got you got a lot of hotels and places where the archers can meet. And it was 1 day. It was 1 degree, 1 degree, almost snow, raining all day. Next day it was sunny, really hot, and next day it was raining again. So if you with the people 4 days shooting this tournament, you get close and you help each other because sometimes it's really crazy. We got a crazy weather now here.
Yeah, it sounds like some of the weather we have here in Nebraska. You can be in a t-shirt that afternoon and blizzards that night, and you just never know. You got to be prepared for everything. And I've had that where I'm wearing t-shirts in the afternoon, and by that next night you got to have your winter coat on because it's freezing. And
Oh, really?
yeah. Yeah, not normally, but there's several times when I've been in the afternoon in t-shirts, and by that night we got freezing sleet and snow, and you know, anywhere from, you know, t-shirt weather drop, you know, 40-degree temperature drop.
Yeah, it's momently it's really crazy weather here. So it was hard. The last 2 days it was hard, and it looks better. So we hope it will be better now. Like
Yeah.
summer has to come. Summer have to come again.
So what's the worst weather you've had to shoot in?
Minus 17 degrees. Like it was terrible. It was in Germany, winter, and I was shooting some tournaments in winter, but this was on the start when I was new and it was really cold, minus 70 degrees. So I tried to shoot with these all big clubs from ball, but it doesn't work because the arrow is like to the right side. So I have to shoot without it, and I didn't have this warm heater. So it was really terrible.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Now,
But
do you
after
shoot off
it,
a shelf or off your hand?
what?
You arrow, do you shoot off your hand or do you have a shelf on your bows?
I got shell.
Shelf.
I don't know what I was shooting in this moment. Maybe it was a horse bow without. It was in the time I was shooting horse bow or long bow. I'm not sure. It's some time ago. I'm not sure. But it was hard. It was, and it's funny because you got your day off and you wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning that you go somewhere to shoot all day in the rain or it's cold. So we always only what?
Yeah, yeah. You get up in the morning, figure it's gonna be a nice day, and you're covered with snow or freezing rain or something, and
Yeah, but after this day, we all happy because we was outside. So once we make a crazy training, it was raining so much, so I have to ask the owner of this club. She gave me her stuff, you know, like everything because I was done. We should buy all weather. I actually I got now my birthday, so I always going shoot, and always it was in the mountains, and it's always raining. Every year it's raining a lot. So I got good experience with friends. They came and it was raining like so much that you cannot head with a boat without. This is everything crazy. You know it, but we're going anyway, so it doesn't matter. And the customers in my company also, it was bad weather 2 years ago would make my car broken with this big ice bells, you know. I don't know how it's English. If it's storm and it's coming the big white bells from the sky. So
yeah,
two archers was in the forest they was in the range, and she was from Spain, and he was just take care about her like this, and he was looking like after paintball, you know. He was it was crazy, but people was outside to shooting.
yeah, yeah. Shooting in the hail, you know, basically frozen ice cubes dropping on you.
And last year it was on the competition. Last year or 2 years ago, like my friends was on the World Archery European Championship or World Champion. It was raining so much that it broke all the tents and everything was onto the water. So when I was in America, it was raining also so much that the river was out, I think, and it was lot of much like we was going from the hill down, like. So if you archer, you have to be ready for everything.
Yeah, if you're shooting outside, yeah, kind of all bets on weather. You just hope it's a good one, but Hey, good chances it's not.
But once one customer won the money back because it was raining outside. So if people from the city coming, shoot, it sometimes it's really funny because they coming with the white shoes and like like top models from the party, always on the Sunday lunchtime after the Saturday night. In this moment, I got a lot of fun because people don't know they're coming up to the hill from the city and they're thinking they will be sitting on the chair and going through the forest, or I don't know what you want. Sometimes it's really very funny with
Yeah,
with the, with our guests who not sure what they will do. So because if it's raining, it's raining. So it's always the forest and it changed nothing. And sometimes people losing shoes or something like this if it's only shoes for city. So it's really important to be good, to be ready to go outside.
yeah, it's like I see people wearing sandals out doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing in sandals, and tennis shoes when you should have boots on. And yeah, I prefer to wear boots.
High wheels on Sunday mostly.
Oh, yeah. And not walking in the mud in high heels. Yeah, I can see that would be funny to watch.
Yes, it's funny. Oh, it's funny. Or in the winter, if in the city, it's not so cold and they come up, so we see it. It will be problem, but the people don't wanna. They say it's okay, and after we have to go to pick them up from the forest because they are over.
Yeah, it's like I live in
So
between a couple of big cities, and it gets colder here because we don't have all the concrete to hold the heat in, and like doing in the big cities.
mhm,
We're just a small village and a lot of open fields, and it gets
yes,
cold here quick.
yeah. So here I'm on the hill on days windy as, as well. So it's funny because people have to learn how to be in the nature, and I think it's really important. Sometimes people from the city coming and they're crying just because they have to go outside. So I think it's really important to show them this is we got a nature, and there is a moment with any phone and any any computers. It's only just to be outside, to be here watching the situation and just be people, just be a person. And
Yeah,
sometimes our situations with people from the city, really with young people. Sometimes I'm just watching what, but after they shoot, it's good because I see how they change for this moment. After it's going back, but they got this experience, and I think it's really important that they do this experience.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah. Well, they come up and they're not really enthused about being outside, but then when they start shooting the bow and see that this is a lot of fun, and then maybe convert them into somebody that likes being outside.
yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. How you're shooting in the rain and everything else is, you've had to deal with that, and I've had days where I went out hunting, and it was supposed to stop raining, and it didn't stop raining, and it didn't stop raining, and so we decided, well, we're not going to hunt in the rain anymore, and so we started leaving.
Yeah, I'm always happy if it's raining because it's part of the training, like to train in the bad situation or in the hard situation. So I always say it's only training. It's only training.
Yeah. It makes you think a little bit different, because you're shooting, and I shoot feathers even with my compound, and you got to think about that. How's the rain going to affect your feathers? And um, you know, those some will use vanes just because I don't want to deal with the problem with that. But
Hmm.
yeah, I started out in the
Yeah, but
60s using feathers, and I just haven't changed. And I have no desire to change. I'm just kind of old
Yeah,
school that way.
this is never ending story about this, what is the best, how to manage it on the tournament. So I'm doing it like this. If it's important for me, I'm changing my arrow every 3 targets. It's raining really. I take a new one because there is big difference if you using wooden arrows. So if I want to be exact,
Yeah.
I changing the arrows every 3 targets. And but it's about training. You have to train to take the stuff with you, and this is not normal. If you go big tournament, you have to train to take the tube with the big, with all the stuff what you need all day to stay focused and concentrate. So people who going to big tournaments start to train this, to take more stuff with them, because if you don't do this, like me on the first day, on the first big tournament day, I didn't train it, and I was really confused for myself because I cannot manage it. I forgot my bow on the I was like I was on the European Championship. I was first. The second day, I was so confused from this, so I lost my bow on the target 4. I forgot my bow and all the stuff. So it all part of the training, like that. It is a routine for the archers. Just that we do nothing special on the tournament. You know, people would or situation where we train. So my friends, they train it to go with all the stuff and pick it all the day with you. I was always I got a lot of stuff with myself, so a lot of people lot of people was laughing me, but because sometimes I need a quick nap, sleep, and I need to everything. So sometimes I got a lot of stuff and people laughing me, but yeah, I think it's okay. I'm feeling good to be ready for all situations what can come. Like my friends, the men, they are not taking so much, but a lot of my girls friends, they the same, because they wanna, what I know from the tournament, it's one target is short drink, next target is one something like nuts or something like this also, and you have to have all the stuff with you. So women's doing like this. I don't know what they meant, but we're doing like this.
I don't know take snacks, but I do take lots of water with me. Yeah. Yeah, when I go hunting, I've got 2 great big containers of water with me, great big liter bottles.
Mhm.
I drink a lot of water, so I always have plenty of water with me. And the outdoor tournaments, they'll have water along the way. And on my 3D rig, I have a nice insulated holder for it. And I'll take the bottle being frozen, and then it'll be enough to keep cold water, throughout the whole day, even when it's really hot out.
Yes, because sometimes is the organization not so good, so you're missing water or some, and you need it for you. I'm eating cucumber. It's the name of this English. So this green cucumber, I eat it before the tournament, making
Yeah.
it's good for my body. There is a lot of water in as well, and
Yeah, there
it's
is.
good.
Yeah, there's a lot of water in cucumbers.
Yes, this is my tip for everyone. Before the tournament, one cucumber.
One cucumber before you start to give you plenty of water and a little bit of food, and make sure you drink plenty while you're going. And around here we can have pretty high temperatures and high humidity, and just being outside you're sweating. And to be outside for 3 or 4 hours at a shoot, yeah, you definitely got to have plenty of water. And Fortunately, last time I went to an outdoor one, they had plenty of water stations along the road, along the path, but still, by the time I get to one, I need to fill up because I've already drank it all.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's too hot, it's dangerous also for the bows. So this is a big point of if it's too hot. So my bow is got some cover for sun, and we take care because if it's traditional bow, it's the mix of the materials. It should be good. So this is the next point of the tournament. You have to take care uh, of the material always. If it's raining, we cannot let the arrows in the grass because it will be wet and stuff like this. You have to always take care. If you shooting traditional materials, you have to take care about the material because it's changing. I think my arrows and me, because I'm Leo, I love summer, and my arrows love summer also. Because I don't know, but if it's hot, they flying better. So yeah, there are a lot of stuff we have to take care about.
Yeah, there's a
And
lot to think about when you're having wooden arrows and wooden bows, getting out there, if you've got a little bit of finish off now, moisture's getting into it more, and you're out there in the
mhm.
rain, and then how do you take care of it? And we had this kind of same thing, even with compounds is, being really hot, you can have to worry about your limbs delaminating as well as the
Yeah, I
wood.
think my bow is not only wood, it's carbon and glass fiber as well. So carbon is, but it can broke every time. If it's too hot, it's dangerous for both. So I don't know how it's in compound, but it's the same. The short limbs, it's the same thing. I think you have to always take care.
Yeah. And the worst thing you can do for bow is leave it in your car in the summertime or even wintertime, but leave it in your car because it gets really hot. And now then it gets hot and you can have limbs start delaminating. I know guys that it's like, that come in and the limbs have started to split, and well, where'd you have it? Oh, it was in the back seat, and just got hot, too hot, because in a car, they can be really hot and bows aren't really designed for that. And the
Yes, I
problem when
know.
it's cold out, they get stiffer, so now it's harder to pull back. And so all that you have to deal with, you know.
Yeah, there is lots of stuff you have to deal with if you yes always take care. Or once in Italy, I was going down. I don't know how is it, but on the street, there was one stone left, and I was like skiing on my bow.
Oh.
That wasn't good. I was broken by the bow also. It was this one, but it's okay. It's okay again. But it was a lot of work for my friend. He fixed it again, and that was not good moment for me. So
Yeah.
that was strange.
Yeah, when you go sliding down on the snow and ice, and you're on your
on
bow going down.
I was lying down on the bow on the street. It was terrible. Like I cannot speak more in the day. I was really broken from this. But it was fixed and everything okay. But after 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know if something like this happened to you with your bow, but this is not good if you got something like this.
Yeah, that's you always got to think about what you're going to do with your bow. And I know on mine I have a sling because I don't hang on to my bow when I shoot. And there's, if I'm up in a tree, hunting, and I'm bending down and I'm shooting because I don't hang on to my bow, I need a sling, otherwise it'd fall to the ground. And fortunately, I haven't done it yet. But I did have one. I was shooting another bow, that one in the store, and didn't have a sling on it, didn't think about it, and almost dropped it when it shot. Just because I'm not thinking about it. It's like, that's the last thing you want is a compound bow hitting a hard floor, because what's going to happen? Normally it's going to bend the cam. It's going to fall right on the cam or right on the side or someplace. And yeah, you gotta be careful with them, and take care of them, and check them out. That's one of the things that
Always check it. Yes, this is the really important. Also check the material. And I have to say thanks, because I always saw if my arrow was broken. Till now, I always check it. Sometime on the start, when I was like 5 years ago, I didn't check it so quick. So if the wooden arrow is broken or starts to be broken, it's always flying high. Sometimes you got 2 or 3 miss till you check, oh, maybe it's something wrong with the arrow. And mostly if you're too high, it's after you can see this is broken. This is broken, the arrow. So you have to check your arrow after every single shoot. So sometimes I was on the start, I loved a rainbow, so my arrow was different, and I loved them, and there was only the men's in my around. There was just didn't, how you do that? There's nothing same. How can you shoot it? But the truth is, I got arrows what I get maybe 6 or 7 years ago for night shooting, like in the dark, and I can shoot with them with all my bows. It doesn't matter if it's recurve, longbow, if it's horsebow or something else. I shoot these arrows, and one of them is always good. I got 3 of them, and there is not. I was shooting with, I don't know, I don't care with which one bow. There was what they gave me in the hand. So all of my bows, they got different grip. I don't care. They give me what I have to shoot, and I am shooting in also with the arrows. But if it's an important tournament, it has to be everything the same. But
yeah,
if it's only fun, I don't care. It's only fun, and it's fun if you got like more colors and everything. I got fun, and this is important for me. So I was really pissed off, sorry, if I have to make all my arrows the same for the big tournaments, because it's not so much fun like I like. It was not good for me for the start. This was a really big problem for me, to have all arrows in the same design. For me, it was important to have fun with this arrow work and everything.
Yeah, it's kind of strange when you're out there shooting, and all of a sudden something's not going right, and you're not sure what's going on. I know I had a time when I was shooting, was when I was shooting aluminum arrows. Aluminum arrows are perfectly straight, new, and the more you shoot them, the more bent they get. Well, I was shooting, and I'm like, why am I getting 5s on these targets? After about the second or third one, I took and spun the arrow, and it was bent. I probably lost 8 to 10 points just because my arrow was bent, and because I didn't check them. And then I started checking them. You pull them out, you'd spin them, and it's like, okay, that's good. And spin them, that's good. And when you're getting 8s and 10s, and all of a sudden you start getting a 5, and you're like, what's going on? You're shooting 2 arrows at a time, and you go back, and he's like 8, 5, 8, 5. It's like, then you spin one, it's like it's bent.
Yeah.
So like you
true.
said, check them each time. Now with the carbons, generally they're either straight or broke. You don't have bent like you do with wood, or cracks with wood, and bent with aluminum. But that's something you still need to check them, because they could they could have an internal crack in them too.
No, it's true. I'm doing my arrows myself. I would like to have different colors. It will be more nice for me, but it's hard work to find the same good arrows. This is really hard work, and it's never ending story. And I'm fascinated because all archers, what I know, always they find what's perfect for them, and after a while, because it's archery, they start to try something new. And I don't know why, but it's really nice to watch it and see it, how it's always the same work, the same story. So people can talk hours long about arrows every day, and it will be never ending. Me also, like I was focused on one number of the what, how is it, how of the gram, on the gram, what the arrow have to be, and 2 years later I need new number, and but it always has to be same. So for America, all my arrows have to be 422 grains. All my arrows have to be like this. All, I don't know, all.
Yeah. I actually did something like that when we was shooting aluminum arrows for carbons came out. I went through a dozen arrows and I fletched them. And then I put the nocks in, the inserts for the nocks and the nocks in, and I weighed the arrow. They were cut to my length. So I weighed all the arrows. Now they're all the exact same length. They're all fletched exactly the same knock point, and I weighed them. And I wrote on the shaft how much it weighed. And then I went through my tips, because when I'd store, I'd buy them 100 bag at a time. So I went through and weighed all my tips out that I needed, and then weighed the inserts, put them on there. And I'm filing the insert down to get it down to the same weight. I got a whole dozen arrows within a half a grain. You know, the min to the max was a half a grain. A lot of work. But you couldn't get them any closer to the same weight, because
No.
I was less than a half a grain between the min and the max, but did I see any difference? Not at hunting distance, at 20 yards or less, I wasn't going to see any difference, but being an engineer, I wanted to do it. I'd never do it again, just because it was a lot of work, for not much gain. And, somebody wanted me to do it to the arrows. I'm going to charge you more for the work than it is for the arrows. Just
Yes.
because the amount of work it takes to go through and weigh everything out. And now I take my arrow, I got it fletched, I screw in a tip and done. I don't worry about it, because, in a bag of tips, they're going to range anywhere from probably about, 95 to 105 is going to be the max range, but most of them are like 98 to 102, at 100 grain tips, because they're not matched grade or anything. This is just a bulk bag of 100, 100 grain tips, or whatever the grain happened to be. So it can be done. It's not really worth it, in what I do, but I can see, somebody's trying to shoot long range. Yeah, now if there's 5 grains difference between one and another arrow, that can make a big difference in the speed of the arrow, the impact point.
This is perfect. I love this game. And now I'm on the point that I'm going back to, because I used oil.
Yeah,
3 years.
yeah.
3 years and almost 4 years. And now I'm starting to use the, I don't know how this word, but I'm painting crestings also and everything, and I love it. I love always. I'm going to knock my arrow. I'm in love again. So it's momently it's really important, but it was 3 or 4 years I didn't do that. But now it's important again, and I it's a lot of work, but sometimes the day I want to do that, so I do, and after it I'm months long, happy. Just every day I can touch these arrows, you know. I can take it in my hand and I love to watch them and shoot them and just pick them and everything. So
Yeah.
I think for me it's important. The colors and everything, it's really important for me. So also my bow maker make me one bow to my clothes. So it's in red and green and yellow, just to my lovely dresses. So that have to be good, perfect.
Well, and the nice thing about, cresting your own arrows is, what pattern do you want? How wide do you want each of the little stripes? And, you can make it all custom. So you're the only one with that pattern because it's your pattern. And, that's what's
Mhm.
nice about, cresting your own, putting those little stripes on there. And you see more of that in the wood arrows. You don't see as much in the carbon arrows. There you normally see, I got on this one here, I have a wrap on here.
Yes,
For those listening, you can't see it, but it's a reflective white wrap I put down below the fletching. And
yes,
these are 4-inch feathers. This is my son's arrow. This is actually a carbon arrow, but it looks like wood. Gold Tip has
I
what they call
know.
the traditions. It
Mhm.
looks like wood, so it looks like you're shooting a wood arrow out of a compound, which is definitely not recommended. In fact, probably dangerous. But the nice thing about these wraps on the hunting arrows is your little flashlights will pick it up and it'll reflect off of it. And you can probably see just a little bit of the camera here how reflective this is. And looking on the back side, it doesn't look too much, but on the front side where the light's picking it up, you can see how reflective it is. And I've seen a lot of people have really cool looking cresting on some of their arrows. And I've seen some of the arrow
Yeah,
makers that have made them, and they're just amazing, the patterns, and some of the arrows are just really cool. So
yeah, I love them. I think for me it's really important. So I switch from the parabol to shield arrows, but I stay by colors. This is important. But I
and
saw a lot of women's got a shield arrows. So before I was using parabols, like the how is it English?
yeah,
Yeah, you know
these
what I mean. This is
like these,
parabol.
yeah. And then there's the shield cut. I don't have any real handy, but they're a little bit different. They kind of curve up and come to a
Yes,
little more of a
yeah.
point.
So now
And
I got them. But this is the only stuff I change on my arrows since I on the start there was if till I started to shoot the big tournaments like national championships and something like this. I was shooting more traditional and horsebow and stuff like this. It was longer and different. But from the point I started to shoot longbow, I stayed by the parables tree by the parabol, and now I got a shield. Yes.
a little bit different style. They're probably going to fly just slightly different, but you just got to figure out what works best for your bow and try them.
Yeah.
We use the 3-inch, 4-inch, 5-inch. I know the one
Yeah.
group of traditionals, they use a lot of 5-inch feathers. I use
If I'm
4-inch.
if I use three because if I shooting sometimes if it's a field competition in the EFIs, it's about 70 meters with the longbow. It's far away. So from this point, is it important to go small arrows because with longbow and wooden arrow to go 70 meters is not so fun. It's not so
Yeah.
easy.
Well, and feathers provide more drag than vanes. So the 5-inch is going to be more than 4 and 4 more than 3. So if you want to get that distance, and not go to vanes, go to the 3-inch. And at that longer range, you don't need much to stabilize a field point.
Yes, Roy.
Now, if you're shooting a broadhead, that'd be a different story.
That's true.
Broadheads you'd need there, but for field tips, 3-inch at those long ranges, that would be, I guess like you found is that's really good to go with the shorter ones when you try to do those long range. Now, you also shoot 3-inch at the closer ranges, or do you switch out?
Say again.
Do you use the 3-inch at the close range or just the long range shooting?
I use by all of them. I don't change my material for I use for all of them. I was thinking about to switch it, about it's better for my mind to stay by the same setup. Sometimes I start to think maybe it will be better for the short distance to go something different, a little bit other arrow, but I try all of them. I tried 100 grain on the head. I tried 70, 60. This game is over. I think it's really important for the archers that this material is gone. So it's done. You have to say in your head, it's okay, it's perfect. I can concentrate me on the point what I want to hit. So I try to have always the same material, because if I start to switch between two different arrows, this game in my mind, it takes me from the moment, from the hit, from the point I want to hit. So that was not good way. I tried, but it's not good. This have to be like the technique. It have to be always the same. The material have to be always the same as well, because they have to be minimal possibility to do something other. We have to stay. This first shoot and the last shoot should be the same, and we need all stuff. It will be the same, like always the same. This is the perfection, I think, in the archery. So if I was trying to change something, that is not good for my mind. I was not sure in the moment when I start to think, is this the good arrow or this other will be better for me in the moment? This is not good way. This is just taking energy, and I need the energy for the hit, So
Yeah, just
always.
it kind of takes away from, you making the shot, you're thinking, okay, did I pick the right arrow? Do I have it set up right? And I know archers that won't let one person touch their bow. I've worked at shops where the one archer might have an hour or 2 hour wait, for somebody to get to them, and and somebody else has that, but no, I'll wait. I know one guy had guys would wait 4 hours for him to work on their bow, because he's the only one that they allowed to touch their bow. And even though there was other techs there that could do just as good a job, they wanted to make sure that the bow was set up, that nothing had to worry about. I got one of the guys that used to shoot for me, he could work on his bow, or I would. He wouldn't let nobody else touch his bow. I was the only other one in him that could touch his bow, because I knew what I was doing, and it was going to set up. And it's that like you're talking about, it's like, okay, is it the bow or is it me? Well, I know the bow is set up correctly, so it's got to be me. If you do it yourself, and a lot of them do it yourself, then you say, well, did I do this right? Did I do this right? Did I do this wrong?
This is the point.
And then you take all that out of it, so it's perfect. So if it's not doing what I wanted to do, it's got to be me, because the bow is perfectly set up. And that's what you're talking about, is like, don't worry about, just get something that works and stay with it.
Like, I didn't know, for me, because I don't like so mathematics and everything, and for me it was on my way. It was like I'm doing my stuff, my material self, but with these grains and everything, how long it should be, it was for me, it was challenge as well. So now I know it have to, I know nothing. Maybe because I can say blah blah blah, and next year it will be different. So I'm always learning. I know nothing. I can say how now how it was, but I'm not sure what in my mind happened and which way I will go. But I'm learning, I'm learning, I'm learning. And I saw how it made me crazy if I start to think about the arrows. So if I got two different arrows, they should be stay at home, and it should be only this one perfect set here and nothing other choice, because the choice is not good. We have to be perfect setup, and the choice should stay at home for me, because I don't want to choose. I just want to take the perfect stuff.
Yeah, you don't have to worry. Your quiver's full of how many areas you have, and there's no difference in them. So you grab any one of them is just as good as the rest, and you don't have to think about all that stuff. It's like what you was talking about earlier. It's like, the more you have to think about besides shooting, the less you're going to think about shooting. And
Yes,
that's
I
the
want to
thing to
quit
eliminate.
this. I need to quit it in my mind. This is in my, yes, that's important. But I have to learn that, because I tried everything. Once it was Austrian championship, I take the arrows the day, new arrows, this day, from my friend he made for me.
Oh.
That was nothing, because no, it wasn't working. I didn't try them, and I was always thinking, I didn't know, I was not sure. I was not feeling sure, and it broke me.
Yeah, because you hadn't had a chance to try them and say, okay, yeah, these are good arrows. Because
Yes.
you've had this, and I know I've had this before. It's like you fletch up a dozen arrows, and especially when you put broadheads on them, shot field tips perfect. Put broadheads on them, and two or three of the dozen would not fly with a broadhead on, but yet they flew perfectly with a field tip. What's different? Well, I used 12 different jigs, but still, you don't know. You don't have that confidence until you shoot it. Okay, this is a perfect arrow for this setup.
Yeah, so I try really a lot of them in this story, and I'm sure it's not. It will be more, but I hope I will be clever and do it anymore, something like this. But sometimes, if you are not perfect with your body, or if something is broken on something, you start to think about the material, and you start to find mistakes on the material, but it's always you. Or not always, but mostly it's you. So in the moment I was looking for the mistakes on the material, and so I was like going downhill, really strong downhill.
And the more you go down, the more you look for what's going on, and you start thinking about other things, and the more you think about something else, the more you go down, and just kind of, that's where, like when you took your nap, you did really good. You take a nap, and your mind stops thinking about stuff. You get up, it's like, oh, that's time to shoot next bow, next arrow.
Yes, but for happiness, I have to say, it's beautiful to watch other archers on the finals, or some, on the final. This is beautiful as well. So almost it doesn't matter, because it's always beautiful day. If you're watching some people who know they go win, if I watch them, especially in my longbow, the women's, I just, wow, I feel it. I see it, I go to, oh, it's so beautiful, and I can enjoy it. It doesn't matter if it's not me, because it's always nice shooting, and we can enjoy the nice shooting from the other as well. So it's, anyway, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it
doesn't
definitely is.
it doesn't matter who is, but of course, if I'm in the bubble, and if everything is perfect, and I got these feelings, but if not, I can enjoy, and I got big feelings with the good archers as well. So it's really nice to be part of them or of the community.
Yeah, I know there's times when you're doing something and, no matter what the sport is, whether it's archery or something else, where
Yeah,
you just kind of get in the zone, like you say, you're in the bubble. It's like, okay, everything is working right, and you're not thinking of anything else. It's just everything you're doing is just like you planned it. Like you practiced 1,000 times, everything's working, and it's that feeling you get when you're in that little bubble or that zone. It's like everything's working right, and staying in there is the fun part, because then you get you're experiencing that, and it's like, oh man, this is a great day. And then um hopefully you don't follow it up with a day where nothing's working right. On those days I just quit shooting. Like whatever, if it's not archery, it's other sport. It's like, if it gets to where nothing is working right, just quit doing it, because you're only going to get bad habits. I know I did that going down to the range one time. I wanted to go shoot. It was late. All the kids were in bed. I went down and I shot my 5 arrows, and like nothing was working. And I started to talk to people and went home. I shot either 5 or 10 arrows that day is all I shot. And I went home because for some reason I just wasn't in it. And, I didn't want to continue with a bad habit, and because that's when you get your bad habits.
yeah.
So what is the best advice another archer or coach has given you?
Mm-hmm.
Gonna make you think on this one.
So yeah, there's a lot. They're giving me a lot. This is like, you're living from them, what you got with the people. But the best, I think, it's after you shoot, just let your hand stay, don't go down. I think this is the best. What someone told me will change my life. I think, like, the bow hand should stay after you shoot, like 2 seconds stay. Like, if I started to practicing this, it changed my life. I start to hit a lot. But after I learned my technique, and there after it is more mental train what the archers saying or giving me. It's everything. It's everything. Like every day, we go together, and you go to people you can be with them, just watch them how they shoot. Or actually, one of most beautiful days was not my shooting, but it was this championships that won one friend of us. And I always got like idols, or not idols, but people who inspired me. If I watch them shoot, it's like wow. And all of the people I'm shooting with give me this moment. So, like, for my technique, it was for sure this, like, hold your hand after you shoot. But I don't know. I'm in love, I'm it's like, if you're asking, if you I'm in love and you ask me what is the best, everything, every second is the best. But if my friend, she was in the European Championships, I was working, so we was watching it in the TV or in the computer, and all people in the film, I was like not breathing. All children who came to shoot, he was always like, and then that was amazing. I cannot work this day. I was like, it was so beautiful to see my friend, how she was in the bubble as well. I saw it, and I was with her, and all the people. I told them, this is a girl from Austria. She went to be European champion, and she shooting so great. So all the people was crying in the company, like our customers, all child was screaming, and that's the, yes, just to see how the people are, how they can manage the everything, and or this other, how she's going to the win. Like, she's in her bubble. I know what she's feeling, and you can see it. And she's going to win. You know that, and nobody can change it. Nobody got the
Right.
power to change it, because I got now this, on my skin, and I feel it with the people. This good. This is amazing. So just watch them, how they are, the people. This is amazing. If you see something like this, if you see somebody you cannot change it. Nobody can change it, because she is sure she will do it, and she every single piece of her body, mind, everything going to win. And this is amazing to watch it. I love it. And
Yeah.
I love it. I love to watch it.
Yeah, you can kind of see when somebody is, like you said, in the bubble, just the way everything kind of plays out. They're just in there. Everything is just smooth and just like it should be, and going off. And you can see somebody that's struggling, and it's like you can tell that they're struggling with it, and you can almost say, okay, this is not going to be a good shot, and sure enough, it's not. And that's kind of nice when you can see. You can see just in the form when you've watched enough of them, especially somebody and you can see that they're doing everything just perfect every time. And that that was a cool story. You told everybody was watching them shoot, and they're just so excited for them,
Mhm.
shooting,
This is
just
so
this perfect
beautiful.
shooting.
Mhm. Yes,
Yeah.
I like it a lot to see it, and I love I love to do it. But for me, I have to be ready. If I'm not ready, I don't care. I know my time is coming today, tomorrow. I don't care. One day when I'm training enough, it's coming always again back to me. So I don't have to be scared, because I know the feelings, and I will get it back. And it's beautiful to see that somebody other got it now. So it's really like big present for me to got this. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that point that you brought it about the arm, I see a lot of people that are starting off, first thing to shoot, they want to drop the bow and look over the top of it. And
Yes, some.
the way I teach is when that bow goes off, that hand should point to your target. If it doesn't point to the target that you're shooting at, you're not doing it right. And that's kind of what you said. It needs to stay there and point to your target. And that's a good point. Yes, I see a lot of beginners, first thing they do is they drop that arm. The shot's gone. Well, it's not really gone yet. And that is something that is real important to remember that you brought up. And
Yeah, I'm watching if I'm in gym and I'm not training archery, I'm training power. So I'm watching always the Olympic recurves, how they shooting the technique. And your team from America, there is a guy, I'm not good in the name. I always have to find, because he's shooting, but he's going out from from where he's shooting from, but the hand, is he's going back, going out, but I yes. So yeah, I love to watch. I don't care. I love to watch the technique, and just how we try just do it the same always and again, and I love it, and it makes me exciting always. So I don't
yeah,
care if it's shooting me or somebody else. It's always amazing to watch it. And sometimes when I'm training a good enough, it's coming to me also. And if not, it's always wonderful day. So it's cool. Actually, it's really it's really cool.
yeah, it is. And the fun part of coaching is seeing your students, just go through and progress, get better and better and better. And then at some point they're out shooting you, and it's like, you know, really good job. It's like, okay, my goal was to make you shoot better than I can shoot.
Yeah, it happened,
You know, and
and it changed my life. Like, just the trainer give me the first shoot with the flow, like in the Austria, in mountains. So I moved to this place and I was only shooting, and I just tried to do the same. And actually I got some students who came to me and they said, listen, I cannot shoot anymore. And after a while we got it, because the other, it's amazing for me, or just to see how the other perspective of, for me, can open new way for the archer, because sometimes you cannot change plot, because the person have to go through this, or the archer have to go through this way, because he have to learn it, but you can give him the important input for his way. And this is, sometimes I could really feel moments who everything, I know everything, how can I help him fix everything for this moment? This is beautiful, but it's not always like this. And sometimes it's only one piece of the way I can help, but it's beautiful also. Sometimes I'm scared because I'm learning, you know, I'm on the start, and people not coming back about 1 or 2 months. And after them, they come and say, oh yeah, I was quiet, I didn't told you because I changed myself. You're right. So it's really nice.
and not every technique works for everybody exactly the same. You
Yeah,
know,
this
so
is, I know that.
our bodies are not the same, so our techniques may have to be modified, and that's what I do when I'm teaching. So I'm going to teach what works for me, and I'm going to teach you how to do what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and then we're going to modify it to fit you. You know, because each person is a bit different, and you know that's the part of coaching that, you know, it takes a while to learn. You've got to coach lots and lots of people, and well, I do, you know, I taught martial arts for quite a while, and then archery, and I kind of combined them together, and so I kind of developed my own way of doing the techniques. But you know, that way it's, you know, most efficient, and you know, trying to eliminate all the extra motions that's not needed, and you know, go through that. But you know, the way I teach, you know, you stand, you know, it's a completely closed stance. You know, like when I was helping the ladies down there, they teach an open stance, because if you do the way I do it and you have too long of a draw length, you hold it out too far, or you don't have your grip right, you will hit your arm 100% of the time. So we don't teach that there, because the chance of hitting the arm is really, really high the way I teach it. So we teach a little bit different so they don't hit their arm, you know, because these are new archers. And if they hit their
Yes.
arm, and you know, smack it once, good, and you're done. And that's not the point of it. So we teach more of an open stance down there for that. But
Yeah, there is many or more perspective what I'm doing, but it's always, yes, it's interesting for the new archers, or with archers who but you know, I am only 5 years here in Austria, and here are families who's everyone is, all the family is shooting, and it was the grandmother's shooting, and I'm only on the start. So what can I say? I'm learning, and I know nothing. Okay, maybe little bit, but every day you only learn that, you know, you have to learn more. So it's good. I think it's really good. This is always fun when you got always something what you can follow, you know, for yourself. For me, so it's, for me it's important, interesting this, for me, like person, like Katerina. So it's like a big present, because this, like, I know I'm learning every day. This is so, like, I know it will be interesting again, and it's interesting. I don't know this, talking about these arrows. I cannot believe that I'm doing every day about 50 arrows or something like this. Something about 100, something less, but about 30, 40, 50 arrows every day, and I love every one of these arrows. So it's really strong, because if you're doing every day in the work, in the free time, and after it, in the, like this year, because I'm not shooting, I was in the first vacation without archery after 7 years, you know. So we're living week for archery every moment. But it's always fun, and so every arrow is for me a new arrow what I'm doing. It's really nice, and it's fascinating or not, because if you're doing something every day the same and it's make you always exciting, it's exciting.
Yeah. Well, and it just got to have, every day, um, just make a different game each day, and whether you're shooting different targets, you're shooting in different orders, you're doing something, just something to make it exciting and challenging each day. And just sometimes just being out there and forgetting about everything else is the good
Yes,
point on it, because you're
yeah,
focusing on what you're doing. You're not thinking about all the other problems. And
that's true. It's really, really nice to be archery, to be part of archery. I like it.
yeah. Yeah,
So
it's definitely good, and it's a lot of fun. And doing the podcast is real lot of fun, because I get to talk to archers like you all over the world. And without this, would we have connected? Probably not. May have, but now I've been able to spend a little bit of time with you and talking with you and learning about what you're doing, and learning about the sport of archery and in your part of the world. And it's just so much fun um, doing this, that it kind of, when I look for each day I get to record a podcast is always a good day. I look forward to it.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice for me also. So I spoke today with a guy from Swiss, from Germany. Now I'm speaking with a guy from America, and just because of archery.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like I told you, from the first shoot, like the trainer told me what I should do, and I saw, like I hit before I shoot. It changed my life, and I just didn't know I have to do this, or I have to do it more, and it changed my life. So that was my challenge, to follow this, because it was not so easy always.
Yeah.
Like, everyone in my old company, in my old country, they was asking, what are you doing? And I say, I'm going to the forest shooting bow. What? Why? And yeah, so it's a big present if you follow what you love, I think. For me, it was like this, or it is like this.
Yeah,
And I think
it's
because we are in the nature, and we always, you go hunting, but we are not going hunt. And if you, it's open your instincts, like the grand instincts in 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 our bodies. So I think this is so amazing, because with this, we feel more ourselves. So I think this is really important, and it's really important for us, because I don't know how it's I think it's open really the old instincts, and the old like old human, the old good healthy human. It's coming back on me always when I'm doing archery, because of this instinct. I think it's like this.
yeah, just something that there's something about archery that connects us with nature and everything else and the world completely different.
Yeah, because if I'm on the kayak on the water, I feel quiet and everything is beautiful, but it's not so strong. It's not this, because I'm not doing like wild water, only quiet on the lakes. And this is other, it's beautiful, it's deep, but on the archery it's different. This is a short connection to something what's more stronger than me. And but I'm part of this, and I am part of this, like in the when I'm on the kayak or on the water or in the flow, different way. I'm not so much part of this. I feel it, but it's not so strong. And I think because of the instinct and everything, it's more deeper, and I'm more part of this big quiet, or I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, it's amazing, you know, what archery has done for people and is doing for people. And you know, even kids, you know, getting kids involved in it is really a really good, because it gives them something else to do besides play video games with their thumbs.
Yeah, true. I'm the best example because I was the same, like stupid city girl or something like this, almost, you know, like people who got who's a person who's got, oh, I have to go to the forest alone. It was not so easy on the start to be alone. Like I learned that all because of archery. I learned a lot of to be with myself alone and everything. But on the start, it wasn't so easy to be alone on the range or on the forest and different forests and in the mountains. Sometimes it's dangerous to be, not dangerous, but it's not so easy to be like a woman alone in the forest, in mountains. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
have to do it. You only have to do it, but it's not so easy to start with it. So I am good example for this because I was the almost city person. Like, yeah, it's nice. It's really nice. So I think the
Yeah.
people from the city who coming to us to shoot, I can explain it to them how it changed my life, so they can take a little bit of them, because not everyone is shooting 10 hours per day.
Yeah.
No, it's really
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. Well, we've been on here a couple hours now, so I'm sure you probably need to go do stuff. And in parting here, what would you like to say to a new archer that's thinking about getting into archery?
Say again, I didn't understand you.
What would you tell somebody that's thinking about getting into archery about what to do to get started?
What to get started? Yeah, just it's easy. You just have to try it and go. Just try. Take a training. Take to go to one club or company, but it's different. It's different in this country, or it's different in Czech Republic, I have to say. So if I'm taking talking with people in my country, in Czech Republic, it's different, the start, like the start here in Austria. So here is easy. You come to one club and someone will help you. But I was with a lot of trainers on my start, so I visited a lot of trainings and met a lot of trainer to just to find the right way. And I will do this. I will say the same. Just go to the club, try it. If you like it, take a lesson with a trainer, just to be sure that you're making nothing wrong. And after, just have a look if you're happy, and if you're happy, take a good bow and do it, because you can. Here it's easy to do it. In Czech Republic, you have to find a group of people who's got something in your garden, or they always have to be more organized. You know, if it's this is different. In Iceland is different also. He told me there is no family who's got a grandmother who's shooting, and grandfather. There is only 10 years history of archery, so it's every country is different. So what I learned, because I moved a lot in my life, like Charles Bukowski, my life. uh, you have to take care about it where you're living. So you have to watch around what is possible and then do the best of them. So every country is different. Like I say, in Austria, it's really easy. Like in Germany, it's easy also, but there are distances. There are bigger distance or bigger distances between the clubs. So easier way is start to ask in some community on the in internet, in social media, and to find your group people, and then you have to have a look what is possible to do in your country, in your town, because in Czech Republic is you have to find some place or somebody who's shooting already, or you go together with somebody, or you buy all the stuff what's expensive. But here in Austria, you only go to one club and say, I want to shoot. There is in every second city almost.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, like I said, it depends on which country you're in, is what you have to do to start. But if you're interested in starting it, just do it. Even if like the one guy interviewed from South Africa, he wanted a bow, so he had to made his first bow. Then one of his relatives give him one arrow. And then now he turned it into a business where he supplies bows for all over the world, and supplies all the wood arrows for South Africa. He started off with, he wanted to shoot a bow, so he made
Yes.
himself his own bow and started off with one arrow. And now now look what he took it into. And there's just if you're interested in shooting, find a bow, find somebody, look on there. One of the things that you can do, for those that are in the Archery Talk 101 Facebook group, just ask in there, any of the country, if they're in that country, because there's a lot of people in that group from all over the world. So, look for a group like that can answer your questions and is willing to help. And there's always archers out there that's going to help you with getting started, because that's what a lot of us like to do, is we like to get you started.
And it's going to be bigger, the community. Now it's a little bit like staying, but in other countries like Croatia or Serbia, like you told me, it will be going be bigger, because a lot of them visiting Austria and Germany, and they fell in love with archery, and it will be bigger and bigger. In Czech Republic is the same. So it's growing up, and it's really nice. It's a really nice hobby, a nice time with family and everything. I will just say, just try and do it. Like with everything, you have to do it. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter how, but you have to start. The first step, it's always, it's not always perfect, but if you make next step and next step in 1 year, if you do every day 2 steps, you are far away from the point where you started. So it's always important to make steps. It doesn't matter how you don't have to run. It's like I started slowly as well. So with one bow for 60 euros with 3 arrows, and it took a lot of time, about 2 years, that I fell in love with archery. So, but I was knowing it's here, and one day maybe it's make like this, and in the other person this is perfect, just to show them it's here. You can maybe it's something for you.
Won't know until you try it, right?
Yeah.
It's been really great talking with you. I had a lot of fun and learned a lot about the archery that you're into, and your area, and what you've done, is like some exciting stories, and it's been a lot of fun talking with you, and it's just been so much fun. I enjoy this.
Thank you for inviting me for this talk. Nice. I think it's great what you're doing. I watch your YouTube, and I was surprised how many videos you got there. So it's really interesting,
Well,
and it's important.
this is podcast number 121.
Wow.
So I've done a few of them for a couple of years here now, and it's just so much fun. I look forward to doing these and recording these and getting these out, and all the stories I get to hear is just amazing, and it's just so much fun.
Yes, it's really important how just every step who is in the good this direction, and it's helping other to find new information or different or other information or the next information. It's really important, and it's important to do it, I think.
Yeah, every archer has a different story. And whether you're just starting out, you've been shooting for a few weeks or months, or been shooting for decades, and whether you're just want to fling arrows in your backyard to be in a semi-pro or a pro or Olympic athlete, we all have different stories, and where do you want to take it? It's up to you.
Yeah, it's life. Archery is life. Or laugh. Life or laugh. It's the same.
Yeah. Yeah, one and the same. Well, my name is Roy Canterbury. I've been host today on Archery Talk 101 with Katerina. We've had a great conversation, and it's interesting talking to her, and I'm sure we'll be talking again later. Thanks for watching and or listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.